Hey, Homeschool Mama, it's Kim here today with a smart homeschool choice, effective handwriting lessons in your daily plans, regardless of the age of your child. If they are emergent writers, they're really interested in learning how to form letters. You are going to want to pay extra attention this whole month. We'll give you lots of practical ideas to add to your daily plans to get them writing effectively. Perfect practice. You've heard that word with music. Well, handwriting is just like that. They need to practice the formation over and over again perfectly, or, nobody's perfect except Jesus, right? But they need to have a system or a plan for each letter. And we've got that for you. In last week's episode, Jenny gave you 5 tips, easy, quick things that will make a big impact when you're taking time in your plans to teach handwriting. And these things are from a handwriting class that is pre-recorded that Jenny made, actually. She's a reading specialist and a tutor in language arts. She's worked with hundreds of kids. When she started tutoring years ago, she couldn't find the perfect teaching tool for handwriting, but she knew that was where she wanted to start. And maybe you can relate. You've seen your kiddo be really excited about reading and writing, and then they go to write if they're learning their name and the letters in their name, and they're like, how do I make an A? How do I make a B? And then they're just burdened by this need to know exactly how to do it. And they freeze, like the movie, right? Frozen. And so what happens when you teach a specific strategy to each letter is you free up their working memory. They have this automaticity, this default that because they've practiced it, making this letter the same way over and over again. She also gives visual and auditory cues that the kids can rely on. Because they have all of these strategies, they're empowered now to be able to just think about and get the output of what they want to say in their written composition. So handwriting and the proper and efficient formation of letters, it's important. And honestly, we've gotten feedback where people think that it is a waste of time. Plus, public school curriculum has taken the focus on handwriting totally out of their curriculum requirements. But we do not agree with that. We are proponents for keeping it in, practicing it daily in quick, short, fun, and motivating ways. You start when they're starting at the very beginning when they take an interest in learning to write, and then as kids get older, there is no instruction in forming cursive letters anymore. And that's public school sadness. I hate it, but as your kids get older, and if they have had this empowering bank of strategies to write regular letters, then when they get to the age that cursive becomes an opportunity, you can then bridge right over to that. And cursive handwriting I just think it's so therapeutic. It's beautiful to look at. It also enables your kids to read historical things that were written in cursive. For my family and my kids, it's letters from their grandma. They can read those letters because they learned cursive. And they have pretty good signatures when they want to. I will say it that way, when they want to. The bottom line is handwriting instruction is never a waste of time. And we have the pre-recorded handwriting classes that Jenny has made. So we're highlighting that today. We do have a link in the show notes to the class. You will use these lessons over and over again, and they are much more interactive than your kids just sitting in front of a workbook. The auditory and visual cues are in there, and the recordings, she is speaking to the children. So you're also going to glean teaching skills. This is for you too, Mama. I mean, yes, let them sit in front of the video and let Miss Jenny be their teacher for a while so you can have a break. But that's really exciting to us, is that we are modeling teaching skills for you in all of our workshops that we have in our bank of classes, and that is in the online community membership. Every recorded class that we have is in there. The next step in classes related to the handwriting are a DIY reading books collection, and those are great. Jenny made 2 of those, and she's just the master at teaching reading and makes it so fun. So check the link in the show notes to find out all about the handwriting class that's available. You'll also see there in the show notes a link to a YouTube video with a 30-second sample of how to make the letter B, and that will give you a great idea of how all of the classes are formatted. And there's also a link to our website where you can purchase just the single class or get in our online community where you have access to not only that handwriting class, but all of our other workshops for moms. That's 8 pre-recorded workshops in all, including a behavior class, how to teach reading and language arts. We have a workshop about simple strategies for everyday success, how to organize your homeschool and your records with a little focus on homeschool portfolios. There's an excellent step-by-step planning guide that will help you make efficient lesson plans. We also have how to choose curriculum that fits your family to a T, and our 7 steps to get started homeschooling workshop. That's 8 pre-recorded, watch anytime you want workshops just for you to learn specific teaching strategies. These are things that helped us every day and that we are passionate to empower homeschool families with. And those are just one part of our online community membership. To find out all the details, go to the homeschoolwell.com/community. And while you're there, take a look in the resources section for the Foundations of Handwriting class. I am going to leave you with a list of multisensory interactive activities and tools to add to your handwriting lessons. I have a lot of them, so it can be just pick and choose on a daily or weekly basis to add to these short video lessons that Jenny has in the handwriting class. So I'm just going to go down the list and tell you some of the exciting things that we have used in the past. Number 1 is wiki sticks. Do you know what a wiki stick is? It's a piece of string that's covered in wax. They feel so cool and they're sticky, so our kids loved making different shapes out of them, but you can also have them make their letters out of the wiki sticks. They're very flexible for that. The second one is using a cookie sheet to hold some multi-sensory things that your kids can trace letters into, like sand or Jello, or put a whole bag of cotton balls in the cookie sheet and have them trace into the cotton balls and make the letters, or take cotton balls out to form the letters with the cotton. Use magnetic letters in the cookie sheet and they can trace over the top of the magnetic letters. Any letter manipulatives that you have, the cookie sheet is always a good place to store things. You can also line the cookie sheet with different multisensory papers, parchment paper, sandpaper, foil that might have oil on it or water. Get messy and fun and creative and let them decide what they want to put in the cookie sheet to motivate them to trace their letters. All the while, remember, they're using the visual and auditory cues that they learned from the video. So this is a fun way to apply that with the proper formation. Make letters out of Play-Doh. They can either roll the Play-Doh like a snake, and then similar to the wiki sticks, they would manipulate that Play-Doh snake into the shape of the letter, or they can take hunks of Play-Doh and line it up to form the letter, and then trace it, proper form, right? Let's talk about scissor skills. This is such a huge skill and such a hand strengthener and nurtures fine motor skills. Any time that your kids can practice cutting with scissors is time well spent. So have them practice cutting letters that maybe you have written on a big piece of paper and they have to cut it out in the correct way. This can get really powerful when you're talking about curvy letters like S and being able to manipulate the paper and the scissor at the same time. Just take it in small doses with the scissors. Some kids get really frustrated, and make sure you use safety scissors. Then when they get really good at using regular scissors, you can seek out all of these different shaped scissors. Pinking shears are the ones that just make the triangle shape at the end, but now they have so many different ones. I even found one that has Mickey Mouse ears. So when you cut the paper, it has a series of Mickey Mouse ears on the paper. It's fantastic. That takes some advanced scissoring skills though, but it will motivate them. These are things that you need to buy. And to make it more affordable, I always shopped the back to school sales after the kids go back to school, and also after Christmas season and January inventory sales. Those were great times for me to find deals and be able to stock up. Also keeping an eye out for interesting writing tools like smelly markers, smelly crayons, or special themed crayons, dry erase board markers, gel pens, felt pens, all the fantastic different things to write with. Wait till they go on sale, and always look in the clearance section year round, because there's usually a sprinkling of school supplies in those clearance sections at any time during the year. So let's talk about going out in nature. Finding letters in nature. My son's name is Wyatt, and I can't tell you how many Y sticks I've taken pictures of. It's so funny. So when you're at the park, just help your kids keep their eyes out for sticks that might be in the shape of a letter that they know already, and they can trace over that. That's another multisensory approach. They can also use the sticks to create the letter itself. Sticks, pine needles, or if they're at the beach, shells. Have them find their ideal stick to write letters in the sand or dirt or clay, mud. How about snow? I'm a Southern girl, and as I was thinking about this, I really want to know, if you have a squeezy water bottle and you go out in the snow and you trace a letter with the water into the snow, I can imagine that it would carve out that letter. The lines would be deep in the snow. And I think that's so cool. I really want some feedback on that. I love that idea. And of course, my kids, we would do things like that at the beach with the sand. But I think the snow element is pretty intriguing. Use different elements from nature to form letters. And then again, practice the proper formation and use the visual and auditory clues. Any way you choose to add handwriting into your daily lesson plans, know that it is time well spent. You're empowering their automaticity in forming letters properly, which again is freeing up their working memory so that they can focus on the composition of what they're writing, whether it's just their name or word family words, or their first sentences. The systems and practice of creating each letter correctly and using auditory and visual cues is going to go a long way in their lives. All right, that is it for this week. I'm going to leave you with some scripture that will encourage you to help your kids practice perfect handwriting. And it is from Philippians 4:9. What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. I love that, related to God's word, and I hope it inspires you in your homeschool journey today. Again, check out those links in the show notes to the handwriting class and to our online homeschool community. We hope to see you at our next gathering around the well, and be sure to tune in next week for another new podcast episode. Have a great day.